You live this life, I walk this road, and you can talk shit. Gambling with my life, but I refuse to go for nonsense. This the life I chose, this all I know, ain't many options. Vow to tell the truth, I make the rules like I'm Fleece Johnson.
Hey, what's up? This is Big Lee with Hustle Spirit. I got my main man in here. What's up, Fleece?
What's up, big brother?
How you doing today?
Fine, wonderfully fine.
Well, somebody sent me a video link of a guy by the name of August the Duck. He has his own YouTube channel, and he's going at you. He's really dry snitching in a way, because he's trying to tell YouTube they need to look into this channel and all this, which is crazy, man. You heard some of it. What you think?
Well, quack. This is to August the Duck and all the YouTube people. First of all, let me tell you about me. When I first came on YouTube, it was because they had things on YouTube that I was a serial rapist and all this. So all the things that I wasn't, they were saying I was. And I know it was due to the battles that I fought in penitentiary to the corrections department. And so I got on YouTube to clear my name. And that's what I did. I got an agent, gave him permission to get all my prison files, all my prison records, everything. And he spent good money getting it. And the prison gave it to him. I'm talking about file cabinets full of files. And not in one of them files was I ever accused, charged, convicted of any sex charge in my life. Never. Okay? So I cleared that up. Proved it without a reason. Can't nobody. I never even had a disciplinary report on it. So we proved all that. We went by paperwork, proof. That's what Hustle Spirit is about, the truth. Now, YouTube bear me witness on this. They came at me hard, man. Everybody was saying things about me. He's a booty man. They gave me that name, booty man. They gave me another name saying I was raping and graping and all this stuff, and couldn't prove none of it. I proved it didn't happen. They couldn't prove nothing. Now, a lot of people want to talk about Fleece Johnson, the prisons I've been in. Have anybody ever decided to go to some of them prisons to interview the inmates in them prisons?
I've talked to many of them, so.
But I'm talking about the people that want to throw stones at me.
Yeah.
Is who I'm referring to. Because if you go to all these Kentucky prisons I done been in, the only things the inmates gonna say to you about me and I is I'm a hero. I was the people's champ in that prison. I'm the one that fought for inmates' rights. I'm the one that gave up all my sexual pleasure and fooling around to join the battle to fight for the rights of these inmates, including myself. And that's what I did, all the way to the last day till they threw me out of prison. People don't realize that I'm the one that filed a lawsuit that went in federal district court in Western District of Paducah. And the case is Kendricks versus Bland. Look it up. Kendricks versus Bland. And we won in that consent decree a $200 million lawsuit against the corrections department. So they mad. Plus me throwing feces on them, fighting them against all the wrongs that they did to me. Now you want to talk about the torture? Talk about all the torture they did to me. Nobody want to talk about that. The waterborne, the torture, to leave me 8 months in a cell, butt naked, with no mattress, no shoes, in the wintertime. When you talk about the things they did to me, I talked about my response to it, how I responded. You know, we fought a battle, and it was nasty. I won. They wasn't done with it. Threw me out of prison, put all this stuff on the internet that I was a raper or this and that. Told all the inmates in the prison that I was dead. You go into these prison systems, Fleece, we heard he was dead. The corrections department put that out. My name, they wanted to kill my name because I was a hero. I broke through all the color lines in that penitentiary. What is a color line? It's a boundary, a ornery, nasty boundary that white people draw and dare black people to cross. That's a color line. We draw this land. You don't eat right here. You better not get in this land. This is all white people. You can't sit here. I broke through all the color lines and I broke them. White people and black people ain't never supposed to talk. I broke through that. Inmates ain't never supposed to talk to correction officers. Are you a rat? I broke through that. You know, nobody can go to PC unless he's a rat. I broke through that. Can't nobody eat, if you eat cheese, you're a rat. I broke through that, ate plenty of it. And I killed that. What I did is I fought within the penitentiary the same stuff people is fighting out here, racist. The racist crap. You know, where they protest out here in the streets and they break through the color line. Whites and blacks going through the same schools, they talking, they working the same job, this and that. I did that in that prison by myself. So I talked about that. Now, when it comes to gay people, people start asking me about that. So I tell them, I ain't do it. I didn't lie about it. Yeah, I did. They wanted details, I gave them details. They want to know why I don't do it no more. I told them why I don't do it no more. It's nasty. It's an abomination. Did I knew it at the time I did it? Yeah, I did. And I didn't care. But I do now. But I explained all that to my fans and stuff. And I never glorified nobody getting raped or nothing in prison because I'm the one that stopped it. Who you think when they had double cells in Eddyville prison, now they all single cell, the whole prison is single cell, thanks to who? Fleece Johnson. When the guards used to take in billy clubs and bust people's heads with it, they ain't even allowed to even pack a billy club. Thanks to Fleece Johnson. Inmates, they was getting grape dinner and don't get it no more. Thanks to Fleece Johnson. I made the prison put security system through the whole prison. On every wall, every floor, ain't no blind spots. Ain't no taking nothing from nobody. If you go into that prison system, what's his name? The Duck Man?
August the Duck.
August the Duck. They should, hey, yeah, you a duck. You know, and you stand back, August the Duck. Let me talk to your fans for a minute. You got August the Duck get on he got to get on the interview, somebody done hired him. Go get Fleece Johnson. See if you can get him off the air. His mouth is too big. He hurt my feelings. He's this and that. So here come August the Duck. Talking like a duck, quacking like a duck, and he is a duck. A dumb duck. A laughing duck. Because you know what, August the Duck? Here's what you left out to your fans. You know, I'm not trying to judge Mr. Johnson. And he's, you know, the ridiculous stuff to glorify what he talks about. and all that old crazy stuff. Nobody glorifying nothing. I was put in that penitentiary as a child. You talking about somebody 15 years old turned 16 in a penitentiary, surrounded by serial killers, bad boys, all these freaks and stuff. I was put there to die. I was put there to corrupt, to turn to nothing. And from a child. Now you know, when you talk about Fleece, don't talk about me like you put me in penitentiary at the age of 50. Or he was in at the age of 50 graping, and I was 15. Now, to show you the truth, how many people, fans anyway, common sense, how many 15-year-old kids, use your common sense, how many 15-year-old kids you gonna put into a maximum security prison, surrounded by killers, big weightlifters, freaks, and he gonna just go on there at 15 years old and grape 1,000 men? That's not even common sense. Somebody that don't have military training. I don't know combat sports. I'm not a judo expert. I'm not a professional boxer. I'm not being trained by the army. But y'all gonna say that I went into this prison at 15 and took down 1,000 men, graping them. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a story that nobody would believe. And so Donald the Duck, whatever your name is.
August the Duck.
Now I call him Donald Duck.
Okay.
He's a Donald Duck laughing stock. That's what you are. And you run YouTube like a little screw, little tail stick out. YouTube, we need to strike him because, no. How can you strike me? Because I'm speaking my mind. Now, when I talk about gay people, it ain't where you hear somebody talk about the gay community, then all the gays come against them. You hear what he said? I can talk about him because I've been gay. So I'm still part of the gay community. I am the gay community. Not in that community no more, but I am part of it. So if I speak my opinion about a gay person, I'm speaking the truth. And so this one in particular, Sasha Santana.
Saucy
Santana. I spoke on him and it touched him so bad that for months and months and months and months and months and months, he got this thing in him now where he wants to get back at me or whatever. But you know what? I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And my intent is to deter people from going to prison. I don't glorify prison. I don't have nothing good to say about no penitentiary. Nothing good about the people in there. I've been in there. I don't want nobody to think going to prison is a good thing. I don't want nobody to think if you go to prison, they ain't gonna step to you and try to do sex with you. I tell you the raw truth as it is. And it's been, man, I done had thousands of people come to me and thank me from watching these interviews about prison, because they say, you know what? I'll never go to prison. Even Drewski, what he did when I went to see Drewski. Y'all know Drewski, his channel broadcast. You know what Drewski said? He said, I lost my appetite. In what? In anything dealing with prison. He said, I'll never go to prison. After hearing me, seeing me, and so people wonder, what type of person am I? I'm a nice person. I live in a section surrounded by white people, older white people, they love me. I'm real helpful to my neighbors. All my neighbors love me. We don't sit around talking, cussing, or nothing. I do the normal thing. I pay bills. Grocery shop. I don't steal. I don't rob. I don't cheat. You know, and so I really concerned about these juveniles getting in trouble, going to prison. And I'm glad they gave me that name Booty Man, because you know what?
Booty Warrior.
Booty Warrior. I'm not the only one gonna receive that name. All these little young kids that they send into prison trying as an adult, ain't that how they did me? Do you not get it? Do you not get why I'm up here talking about it? I'm letting you see me. A lot of these juveniles is not gonna make it. I made it. And I told you all the stuff I went through. From a juvenile, from a child. And you gonna tell me I'm wrong? Come on, Donald Duck. August the Duck, whoever they call you. You know, you a duck. And you get up there and you try to sound like you know what you're talking about. Have you ever talked to me? Have you ever interviewed the people I live around, my neighbors? Have you ever interviewed the prisons I've been to? Any of the guards or the inmates? But how you gonna sit up here on your broadcast and even cast like do judgment on me without facts? Duck.
It sounds to me like, and this is not just for August the Duck. He's probably a nice guy. I don't know.
No, he's not.
But for him to say he's not gonna criticize Boondocks, he didn't mention MSNBC Lockup Raw, where all this started. Let's start from the beginning. Fleece is famous, are known because of MSNBC Lockup Raw and the Boondocks. So if you're going to have a problem with somebody, why are you going to come to a little YouTube channel? You got 2 million subscribers.
I tell you.
Why are you going to come to a little YouTube channel that has 57,000 subscribers? It really bothered you that you seen him that much on your feed?
Not only that, but if you was to look at the life of this Donald Duck, August the Duck Man, I would bet you by hearing him talk and listening to him talk, I don't judge you either, brother, sister. I bet he's gay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Or you think?
I think somebody done put him, I don't even know, August the Duck, Donald Duck. And he talking about, well, the last 3 months, I've been seeing this on TikTok and so, what, are you jealous of me, Donald Duck? Are you jealous of me? And I'm doing something that you can't do? You know, yeah, I went through 40 years of that stuff in the penitentiary. You think I ain't gonna talk about it? Them put me in there as a child and all the stuff I went through. Yeah, I don't want to see nobody else go through that, August Donald Duck. But I tell you what, you getting on the broadcast and telling all the other broadcasters, I don't see why y'all won't even interview him. He's making money. I'm making plenty.
And now you on his YouTube channel.
Now I'm on your channel, making more money thanks to you, Donald Duck. I'm going to make more money. Anytime you mention my name, you put me out there. You put me out, you making me more famous than I am. Just running it. Now 2 million of your fans know who I am. And I love your fans. And I want them to become my fans. You know, I want them to hear the truth. Not half of what you tell them. You know, you only told one side. Somebody told you to come against me. And I can kill his broadcast and all that. You made me famous. All of y'all. I love y'all.
It's amazing all of a sudden it's coming from all angles. We getting strikes. We getting videos taken down. Now Mr. August the Duck is on here. I think he put it on there about 13 hours ago. It's almost at 200,000 views because he has 2 million subscribers. for him to put this amount of tension in this. If you really had a problem with it, you had a problem with it when it was on the Boondocks. That was the most extreme thing on the Boondocks. But you telling him, and this is the problem with our community now. When I was younger and people was getting out of prison, we didn't hear about the bad stuff. So we didn't know what to expect if we went there. Now you got somebody putting their truth and telling you about the negative stuff in there, and now all of a sudden you want it kicked off the platform. Now you calling out YouTube to look at it. Come on, man. It's crazy.
You know what I do? I'm calling out YouTube to take a close look at it. I'm doing it. Because you know what? Like I said, I don't do broadcasts to try to offend, criticize, all that stuff. I'm going to tell the truth. If you feel like the truth came as a criticism, it's up to you. But I tell you this, Donald Duck, that you're a laughing stock to me. I don't fear you. I don't fear none of your broadcasts. I didn't fear the guards in the penitentiary. I don't fear nobody in my life. I've been ducking punches all my life, Donald Duck. Now I got some more punches to duck. Yours, Sasha Santana, whoever else want to join your little force. But I'm telling you what, every time you turn to YouTube, you're going to see me. You're going to see that every time you mention my name, I'm going to get more and more famous. Because the fans love me. Everybody loves me. They understand me. You know what I'm saying? They know I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to defraud them out of nothing. I'm trying to deter them from going to prison, from getting in trouble. I'm trying to do it the way I do it. Now, to the YouTube organization, I apologize to y'all for any thing I didn't know about that was causing whatever. But YouTube knows that my story is no different from nobody else's story. I'm telling my story the way I am. People get offended. Don't look at it. I'm not saying nothing real nasty to nobody. I'm going to tell the truth, though. And I'll say it again. I used to be gay. Why I'm not gay no more is because it's nasty. That's why. Now, I'm speaking that of myself. Now, you going to fault me for that? You going to say I'm coming against everybody, or speaking against everybody because I said that was nasty? It's a nasty life. I lived that life. I was gay. And if I say I'm not gay no more, and this is the reason why, and if I tell you how I became gay, you going to criticize me for that? Hey, you know what? I got gay friends that you don't even know about. Die-hard gay friends, and they done been calling me this. Hey, and you know what they tell me? Keep telling the truth, Fleece. Keep telling the truth. We love you. In the gay community, we love you. I got all my gay friends love me. When I spoke against Sasha Santana, he went to his other sources. His main thing is, he spoke against me, he talked about me, he put me down or whatever. Sasha Santana, I just told you the truth. But to be truthful, I love you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And I wish we could be friends. No, seriously. I wish everybody that say they had a problem with me would contact me. Now, this is what I do for YouTube. I would be willing to go on any one of them broadcasts. Sasha Santana, Donald Duck, August the Duck, anybody else that has a problem with hustle spirit, call us to your channel. You know, that's the YouTube, listen at this. Isn't that not the appropriate way to deal with it? Call me to your channel and say, hey, I brought you to this channel and to broadcast, and this is why, you know, you made some statements. Can you explain yourself? And I would be glad to.
It's obvious that that people are banding against this movement. And y'all not going to stop it if y'all get us put off this platform. It's not going to stop here. So you can do whatever you got to do. We're not really worried about that. But it amazes me how when somebody interviews a serial killer or somebody committing some other heinous crime, y'all don't say a word about that. But y'all see a black man trying to help young black people by telling his story. It doesn't matter how he tells it. He's telling you it happened in prison. Don't go to prison. That was the reason this channel started. We already knew we was going to be up against something when we started the channel. I thought it was going to come a lot sooner than it did. But we knew what we was going up against. We knew this was going to happen. And it's cool. Do what you got to do. But we're going to continue to tell our story. And it don't matter where we tell it at. People are going to find it. And it's going to get out there. And they're going to understand what we're doing as a movement. So, and I don't even know what you have on your channel. I really don't care.
Well, here's what I want to say to Donald Duck, August the Duck, is, buddy, all you got to do is tell your fans, you know what? I'm going to get Fleece Johnson on this broadcast, and I'm going to sit him down, and I'm going to grill him on some of the things that I don't feel comfortable about that. See if he can explain it.
He's not man enough to do that.
He's not man enough to do it because he's a duck. And that's what ducks do. They quack and quack, quack, quack like a duck. That's why they call him August the Duck. He's been doing that for, 8 months out of a year, quacking. But the thing about it is this. You talk about mental illness, buddy. I probably don't have the academic education that y'all have out of vocational that comes with it. But I tell you what I do have. I got a spiritual awareness that hands down is can stand up to anybody in this country, in the world, really. Probably more. I have an understanding of God, the truth, what's going on in the world, what will go on in the world. Everything I done predicted and became true. Even on this broadcast, I predict things came true, even to the football game. Accurate. We've been accurate. And can't nobody fault us on this. Now, do I have a mental illness? Shoot. Yeah. Everybody do. But you talk to somebody that the odds was against me. I've been out of prison since 2015. Let's get that straight. No trouble. So I'm doing good at her. You know, we still got the corrections department. Still out trying to, go through resources to affect me. And they tried it on the internet when I first got out. But they threw me out of prison, first of all. How many people, can cuss a parole boy out in their face, cuss him, and they throw him out the next day? They did me like that because they had a trap. They done put all this stuff on the internet. He's a serial rapist. He'll rape anybody. He'll rape kids. He'll do this. He'll do that. And they hope was that somebody, wherever they put me, nobody would give me a job. Nobody would want to even speak to me. I was so foul that, it was working at first. I said, hold up, what's going on? But you know what? I'm skilled. I was doing houses under the table. Yeah, I can do houses, floors, windows, drywall. I can paint. I can lay bricks. I can do all that. So I went under that. I started getting them jobs, just asking people they need this work and that work. And they kept shooting at me hard and hard. And it was frustrating. And YouTube knows it. Man, it had me so aggravated, man. I started to come out with some threats at first. They better get up off of me, because I ain't done it. But when you talk about Fleece Johnson, Remember, 40 years in prison, but guess what? He didn't kill nobody, stab nobody, shoot nobody, rape nobody, molest nobody, did nothing to no old people. He never burnt nothing down, no arson. He's not a terrorist. How many people he didn't hit and run nobody? He didn't, and he did 40 years in prison. Now, it'll make, as a child, from 15 years old until he got out. Now, ain't there something funny about that? The man that everybody say is so nasty and Andre, he never had a sex charge, never been accused of it, never been charged or convicted of it. He never been convicted of murder, killing. What did he do all that 40 years for? You know, you got people out here murdering people all the time, go to court and the judge will say 21 years, 18 years, 32 years. This man did 40 flat from 15 years old. That don't make you wonder what's going on? What did they do to me? If anybody have a problem, it should be me. I'm the one should be out here complaining about how they locked me up at 15 when the law said you couldn't back then. How they sent me to the penitentiary and charged me with all them crimes inside the prison. None of them was sex. How they got a conviction. People don't look into that. Man, they was torturing this young man. How they gave me 12 years, or how I did 12 years flat in the whole isolation. Nobody want to talk about that. How they made me do 8 months without a mattress, blanket, shoes, socks, underwear, nothing. Nobody talks about that. How they gave me 27 years to do in the hole. That's how much whole time I had, 27 years of it. Nobody talk about that. All the things they did to me. How they put me in a cell, strapped me to a bed butt naked, and what flies was eating out of my butt. Nobody want to talk about that. Is that, and when I tell people these stories, it's to tell them what has happened to me while I was in there. It can happen to you, man. Don't go. I'm telling you what awaits you when you go into a prison. It might not be the same thing, but this is what happened to me. So I tell them stories. Some people look at this. I don't see nothing funny about it. I don't see nothing funny about flies eating out of your butt. I even telling somebody that. It's shameful. But I'm past that. You know, I don't see shame, man. I see telling this truth, telling what happened to me. And tell how I dealt with it. You know. So, and y'all gonna get mad at me?
And then he said, August the Duck, he said something about that he was reading the comments and people making you have to be making jokes of it, or you know, saying it's entertaining, or even following you. You know something? When somebody tells you the truth about them, that should mean something. When somebody does it and their intentions is to make sure people know what goes on in prison, that should be the last video you take off the internet. That should be there. Now, unless you're invested in prisons, you know, unless that's a part of your investment portfolio, then yeah, get them off. But if somebody's sitting here telling you what goes on in prison, and it don't matter how he tells you, it doesn't matter how he gets his brain together to even go back through it again, you let it be heard. You let these young people hear it so they know what goes on. Because I know in the inner city, when I was growing up, like I said before, nobody spoke about the negative stuff in prison. Nobody. People was going in there, coming home in shape, getting all this attention because they had been gone. It was like they went away on some trip. But what really went on is what he talks about. And to me, that should be the most important thing.
And Donald Duck, August the Duck, let me tell you this too, brother. Do you know what it feels like to be in a prison? A juvenile. A man's prison. And they got these lands in there, the food land. All the white people in this land, black people go in this land. The black sit in the back of the kitchen, the white sit up front. Donald Duck, who you think broke it up? I did. I went and sat at any table I wanted, got in any land until everybody started doing it. I broke through that color line. They had other things in there, Donald Duck. We got the killers in there. They said you can't talk to the guards. The guards is considered police. So if you talk to them, people gonna say you're a rat and they hate rats and they kill rats and all this. I talk to the guards. Next thing you know, everybody's doing it. You can't tell me who to talk to. I was standing up for my rights. And then when I got off into the gay thing, yeah, I got off into it. But you know what brought me out of it? Is sitting around watching people getting mistreated, taken advantage of, beat up by the guards, beat up by the inmates. And you know what I decided? The hell with this gay stuff, man. I'm ready to war. And I jumped on that floor and did push-ups, jumping jacks, exercise, and not come out. That's why I never joined the gang or group or nothing. I was my own man and I fought my own battles myself. You know, I fought armies in that penitentiary. And I did some heroic stuff in there. I stopped people from being great. You didn't know that, did you, Mr. Donald Duck? You know, and you trying to put it on the broadcast, you going by what you heard somebody say. Now, if I was to tell Mr. Donald Duck, how can you base this, what you say about me, how can you base any of it on facts? Where's your proof? Where's your proof that I even raped or sexually assaulted anybody? Do you have any proof? Does anybody have any proof in this world that I ever been accused of it? Can you ever bring up one person that ran to the authorities or anybody that said he raped me? Nobody. I never even had a complaint.
And out of that many people, you can't tell me not 40, one person.
And you mean tell me in 40 years, ain't nobody gonna come up and say I did it? You go into that prison system, all them inmates gonna talk about is how I fought the guards and stood up for their rights, you know. That's all they gonna talk about. They gonna call me crazy. Yeah, crazy Fleece Johnson. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, man, he used to fight these guards. He did it. Nah, he wasn't doing that. All that graping and rape. Go in there and ask some inmates. They gonna tell you no. He was the people's champ. That's what I was in the penitentiary. And that's what the corrections department don't want me to be known as. Just like Dracula. He was a real person. They took his name and made him into a vampire. Bats and all this stuff. And the man was real. And he took care of his people. Look, check his history out. There was a person called Count Dracula. But back to Fleece Johnson, Donald Duck. I think I done covered most of the stuff you was talking about running to YouTube about. And YouTube got to admit, yeah, I got a point. You know, my whole broadcast is about deterring people from going to prison. I don't glorify nothing in prison, but I'm not. If I wanted to, I'm gonna give you a reality check right here, Donald Duck. I usually don't do this, but I'll give you. When I got through fighting them in that prison, when I got through with my 40 years of fighting, well, I got through that. Like Moses took the people 40 years over the desert, and he was done, and he was done. When we finish our course, we done. Sometimes we are called to fight battles. Like, if you think that you could have fought them battles in prison the way they fight out here in the streets, no, you couldn't. So, Donald Duck, I'm going to tell you this. When I left that prison, when I went in there, it was dirty, nasty, filthy, rotten, foul, filthy. When I left, that double cell was now single cell. Inmates was rights is being respected. We got PlayStation. We got all cable channels. We got so much stuff in our that if I was to sit here and talk about how the prison is right now, everybody would want to go. They would love going to prison. That's how good it is. That's how good I left it when I came out of there. When I went in there, it was filthy. When I came out, it was decent, livable, because of my fighting.
And just on the last note, man, I don't think I've ever looked at a YouTube channel or platform and said, you know, that the people running it should take a look at this and take them off. But, you know, we know who that person was as a child, or that person was in school. Some people just tell on people. Some people just,
well,
you know, some people do what they got to do.
Well, Donald Duck, I don't look at it like, if I'm doing something wrong, I want to know it. Now listen, I know I ain't doing nothing wrong. I want to know it, but I know I ain't doing nothing wrong. I know the whole purpose of your trying to get me removed off the broadcast is due to some sort of influence you might receive from somebody. You know, because I'm hitting nerves in the corrections department. I'm telling about all the atrocities committed in that prison, and they getting scrutinized over that right now. So everybody won't take him off the earth, just like Geno Jennings. He's a pastor. So you call me crazy, Donald Duck, but check this out. This man get up on his broadcast and say, I've been a pastor for 20-something years, and I done did more work than Jesus. And let me tell you, if I was so crazy, how did I know this, Donald Duck? You talk about mental illness and stuff. Well, if you read the scripture, you'll realize Jesus' ministry lasted, 3 years? Yeah, when he began to preach, it lasted 3 years. Well, a short time, the scripture said, is all he's going to spend, and then he's gone. Geno Jennings thought that because he did 21 years, that he can get up on TV and say, I did more work than Jesus, not realizing in the day of Abraham, when them angels came to destroy them homosexual cities, Sodom and Gomorrah and them neighboring cities, the Lord was with him. He said, behold, I see 3 men. 2 of them is angels, 1 of them is the Son of God, Jesus. See, he didn't know about that Jesus was existed way back then. So how you gonna do more work than Jesus? You think you know the scripture. So I spoke on that. And then then I spoke on before P. Diddy and T.D. Jakes and all that stuff hit the screen on the scandal. I called all of them out. I called the whole Hollywood out, told people who I thought was gay, who wasn't. And then next thing I know, months later, it all hit the screen and everybody I mentioned was involved. So I wasn't wrong. And so what I do is I bring knowledge to YouTube. I bring a swag that is never seen because it's truth. Later.